Guards, no need for your weaponry. Lower them. Your commanding officer wants to talk to me. Greetings, General. Oh, no need to draw your sword. I am here to negotiate. Well, I just walked in. No of you men wanted to stop me. So, please, lower your weapon. You will not do such a thing, I say. Well, let me then just talk to you. I am from the opposing army. You will meet on tomorrow's battlefield. I am here to formally try to negotiate with the leader of the army, that being you, of course, to stop your advances in this territory. You laugh at me like I'm a fool. I can most certainly assure you that I'm here in goodwill. I'm sent by the army I represent, of course, but also as a human being, such as yourself. I don't think we should fight among our kind. Elves, orcs, does it matter? What we could do if we united the entire race, that would be very beneficial for all of us. So we could stop this infighting between rivaling nations, and we could start with you. What makes me command you? A fun thing you say. I am not that stupid to just waltz in without any preparations. I command. Surrender. There you are, laying down your sword. Wonderful. I command. Sit. Sitting on the very desk from which you plan your assaults. Now for a peace treaty. Quite wonderful. But I most certainly can force you to do this treaty. Who am I? Oh, I'm just a mage. Just a mage. No worries, dear. Yes, I am using my magic to influence you. How do you think I got past the guards? But don't try screaming for help, they won't hear you anyway. So, oh, of course, yeah, that was very obligatory. I do not have any interest in taking sides. I do not want to take your side. That's it, basically. I was sent by the other army, but I do not represent them and their meaning. I'm just here to do a peace treaty. No, it most certainly will end quite favorably for both parties. Unless you do want to stand up from there and try to swing your sword, which lays on the very floor. Well, yes, while I was sent by your opposing military rivals, I do not have. Well, yes. Well, yes. While I was sent by your military rivals, I do not represent their political views, or those of their kingdom anyway. I'm just here to make a peace treaty. No, I will not join your side in this military conflict. How come? Well, let's say it this way. I have other interests, and my alignment lies on a different place anyway. Yes, of course, of course. You, the mighty general who rose up from practically nothing, would of course resist anything I might do to your mind. You see, and that's what I'm counting on. I would want to make this interesting for myself. Of course, it will be interesting for you too, trying to see how far your mind can resist my attempts. But don't worry, I will not leave any lasting damage. That is, if you behave. But you could, of course, try to grab that sword or the dagger. You probably have another one somewhere. And try to stab me. In case of this, I am welcoming you to try. But then let's say it this way. But then the consequences for you after the little play we will have with your mind might be of a more longer lasting and damaging effect. I have heard of your reputation, and I do not threaten you, I'm just prophesizing what your future might look like. Oh, yes. I do like that spirit. Yeah, about the peace treaty, it will basically be that your army just leaves. The army will leave and go back to their capital just like yours will. It's not much. Come to think of it, both of your lands are pretty small. How you manage to get that big of an army? Ah, you just raid whatever comes in your way. Well, while not entirely ethical, I do completely understand. Still, unfortunately, I have to encourage you now to sign that very document here. But you don't want to. Oh, sweetie, don't you know in which position you are right now? Don't you want me to just relieve you of this physical form that you're in right now? Okay. Well then, let's see how far your mind is willing to resist before you will eventually sign the contract anyway. Ha. You actually tried it. I can't believe it. You did try to just stab me to death. Well then, unfortunately for you, this might have a few consequences. Don't you ever think what will happen to your lands once you lost the war? Don't you ever think what will happen to you ending up in a dungeon or a stake? Just beheaded maybe? Or do you really think you can actually win this war? Do you think you will come home crowned with jewels and gold? Well, what if so? What have you accomplished? Your people dead, mostly? The wives and the children of the men you that under your command are just very lonely. There is no one to take care of them. Your country might be on the winning side of a financial and economic side, but the people, you won't have any people in your little state then. Unfortunately for you, this will mark the end of your kingdom and of your reign, even though you are quite wealthy after this. That is, if you win. If you lose your existence, but only your existence, but the existence of your bloodline, your heritage. On the other side, if you just draw back from here, what can you lose? Well, the money you invested in it, of course. Those golden coins you seek for. Yes, I know of that. Unfortunately for you, I cannot let you continue this war for, let's say it this way, personal reasons. Well, still, you must command your effort. Your mind is still very clear. And of course, you have come to raising a very, very big army. One that the other side might defeat or not. So, what do we do from this place and this point on? Don't you want to know what the future has in store for you? Isn't it a way of your interests to know what will happen to you next? Well, since you did try to stab me and probably let me bleed out on this very nice carpet of yours, I can show you what my magic is capable of.